Hello YouTube viewers, I hope y'all are having a fantastic day. My name is Black Mamba and today I'm going to show you how to use Nmap. To get started real quick, I'm going to give you a quick introduction about Nmap. So what is Nmap? Nmap stands for a network mapper, and it literally does what the name insinuates. It's basically it goes on in a network and scan it or scout it for open ports, services, vulnerabilities that are linked to that services, brute forcing, sometimes even exploiting that particular service. But not all of them. I mean, it depends on the service, of course. Now, for the sake of this demonstration, we're going to be using two boxes. So I have two boxes in here. I have my Kali Linux, and I have Metasploitable too. Now, you could use whatever it is that you want to use when trying this out. I mean, I prefer Kali Linux because I just got used to it. But really, you can use whatever it is that you want to. You can use Spirit OS, you can use Backbox, you can use Ubuntu, Arch, Linux, whatever it is that you feel comfortable with. Most of them have Nmap in them, pre-installed, and if they don't, you just need to do something like this. You do sudo apt install Nmap, and then it will go ahead and install the tool for you. Just before we move any further, guys, this video is strictly made for educational purposes. Please don't go on and harm other people unless you have written permission for it. I mean, you know the drill. So before you do any kind of scan, you need to know the IP address you're working with, right? In this case, I know what is the IP address, but in order to know what exactly you're working with, or to know what are the machines connected to your network, you simply run ifconfig first to know your IP address. You copy that IP address, and then you use another tool called ipcalc. It's an IP calculator. You put in your IP address, and then it's going to calculate the range of the network that you is placed in, right? So this is the one right here next to the network. Now you take that, you copy it, then you write it in Nmap, and then just this right here. So Nmap, and then you write on this one right here, whatever it is that it says next to the network, and then it will go on and scan all what it is that is connected to this network. In this case, we have only two, right? We have my Kali Linux box and the Metasploitable 2, which is over here. Now, if you run this command ifconfig, it will give you the IP address of that box, right? Which is right here, ending in 130. If you go back to your Linux, you will see here it's ended in 130. That means this is the box that we basically we want to scan. In your case, I don't know, it could be, I don't know, you're trying to prank your old man, your mama, or any of your relatives or something. This is the way you know, right? Also, there are a lot of other tools out there. I don't know, like Fing on Android, and there's so many more in order to know which one, what is the IP of the device you're trying to attack. Now, when you run the scan, it will give you just a little bit of information about it. So the open ports, these are the open ports, and then it gives you the services running in these open ports. Now let's say, for an instance, you want to know what are the services running on these ports. So you write down nmap-sv, which is for service version, right? And then you type in the IP address in question, right? nmap-sv, and then the IP address in question, and then it will go probe all these services running on these on this particular box. So how does it determine that? It basically sends some specific requests to the target, and then based on the response, it determines what is the version that, that box is running. So here we already got the results right away. So we have port 21 open, the status, and then the service is FTP, and then it gives you the version. The version is right here. Now you can use this version for all kinds of stuff. Like you can I don't know, like you can do something like this. For an instance, search exploit, which is basically an exploit database that is integrated within Kali Linux. You basically need to write this service version, and you will get, that here it is. So a backdoor common execution, the Metasploit. Basically, it already has an exploit. It has a vulnerability registered here. Bottom line is, if you know the exact version of the service, if it has a vulnerability online, there are so many ways that you can determine how you can approach that particular service, right? And it is the same for the rest of these. Now, let's say you want to get, you're not satisfied with this information. You want to get even deeper. You want to get more. So you write the following. So nmap-a, capital A, and then the IP address in question. Now, in this case, it's the exploitable IP address. Now, I don't recommend using this scan, even though it's actually good in every way possible, because it's noisy. We don't want to do noisy scans, but for the sake of demonstration, I mean, I own these two boxes, so I have the full permission to run these scans. I'm gonna show you what kind of result does -a prob, right? This might take a while because, as I said, it's an aggressive scan. I'm gonna take a chance to tell you a little bit more about what we're doing right here. So let's open up another terminal over here. Something you need to know when you write down just Nmap without anything, it gets you the help menu, where you basically can have a little bit of reading. I suggest reading this thing. Just you don't need to memorize the whole thing. I mean, I don't know all the commands. Sometimes I just write in Nmap and then go through, see what exactly I need to do or what I want, and see how am I gonna be using those flags in order to tweak my scan to get whatever it is that I want to. So let's say, for example, you want to scan a particular port. This is how you do it, right? So you write down nmap-p. You want to scan to see if port 22 is open. So you write down -p 22 and then the IP in question next to it. Let's say you want to scan for all of the ports, right? So you write down nmap-p1 65535. If you want to scan for UDP ports, specific UDP ports, you will use this argument or this flag, or you use this one, which is the SU. But then you need specific permission for that. I'm gonna show you how. So let's say if you write down nmap-su, and then you write down the IP, it will say you requested a scan time which requires root privileges. So in this case, you need to write down sudo before that. Prompts you for the password. You write down the password, and it will go ahead and scan for UDP ports. I'm not gonna do that. It takes a while to get the results. Let's get back here. So the scan is complete. Right at the bell, you see port 21 open FTP, and then it gives you the version. And then it tells you here something very interesting. So it says FTP unknown, anonymous FTP login is allowed. So if we did something like the following, so if we write down FTP and then we open a connection, we write down the IP address that we in question, which is this one right here for the Metasploitable 2, and then we write the name as anonymous over here, and then we write down the password also anonymous. It says it gives us a successful login status. So when you run a -a scan, it gives you a lot more details than the average. it gives you more information aside from the service, the OS service detection. Aside from the version, it gives you even more detail. So what it did is send out a request, and based on these response, it determines that anonymous login is basically allowed. Same with the other ports, SSH 25, 23, port 80, which is HTTP, Apache. So let's try to open up a browser here. Let me show you. Sorry about that. It's taking a while. So if we write down if we paste the IP address, allow me a moment. I'm gonna need to copy that one. And if we paste it here, and then write down a port 80, it gets us to the metasploitable Apache server, which is hosted on port 80. Also, if you scroll down, you will get OS information. It says here OS Unix. Computer name metasploitable. Net bias is empty. I believe if you are doing a -A on Windows, you will get something in here. Domain domain name, local domain, and all the information basically that you're gonna be needing in order to know how you're gonna be approaching the machine when you want to attack it. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. You learned something new. If you have any questions, please drop a comment below. I'll try to answer them as much as I can. If I know, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna try to answer it. If I don't know, I will also tell you that I do not know. And yeah, that's it for the video. See you in the next one.